Blog number 44, Soapbox, Preaching to the Choir. Okay, that's it. I'm going to have to climb up on my soapbox, and anybody with a neurological condition will understand why. This ranting, or observation to put it more politely, is for everyone else that we encounter in our everyday lives that are out there in the general public. But before I go any further, I would like to point out that it is not a literal soapbox that I am climbing onto. I mean, because to do that, I would have to first install grab bars so that I could even pull myself up onto the soapbox. And once I got up there, I would need to have railings erected all the way around the soapbox so that I wouldn't fall off. The whole ordeal is really just too exhausting to even contemplate, so I'm going to have to ask you, my readers and listeners, to use your imagination and just simply envision that I am standing on a platform, when in reality I am really comfortably and safely sitting in front of my computer. The very subject of falling off a soapbox, when others who have a fully functioning cerebellum and muscular system would be able to step right up there without a problem, is the subject of this writing. Because, short of hiring a 12-piece minstrel ensemble that includes a flute and a tambourine to march before me, announcing me with a little musical ditty, I'm really not sure what else I can do. Oh, and by the way, that little musical number that I just mentioned, yeah, I envision it to go something like this. Here's doth come an Ataxian man. You really doth need to be as polite as thou can. I know what you're thinking, that this boy has been drinking, that there's a reason he slurs, and that his sight doth blurs. But we are here as his defender. The lad is not on a bender. He simply has a condition that should not raise your suspicion. If you would take care of yourself and not always assume the worst, if you were to pay attention to yourself and mind your own affairs first, you would see no problem. Indeed, there's no need to fret. You could go on with your day. There would be no need to sweat. It is frustrating to me because most people will see someone misstep or lose their balance or act in a way that is outside their perception of normal and just assume that they are drunk or under the influence of a drug. Since I've begun to struggle physically, I find that I do not immediately assume this to be the explanation when I see someone who's having a difficult time. I also know that probably 85, maybe 90% of the time that the cause for erratic behavior is alcohol or drug related. In fact, public intoxication is a frequent happening, and most of the time people are correct in assuming that someone is behaving under the influence. I mean, just the other night, a woman was driving on the wrong side of the freeway close to where I live. She was drunk, and she ended up hitting and killing another driver. Unfortunately, a high percentage of the time, alcohol is a reasonable or feasible explanation, but certainly it is not in every circumstance. I know that my little blog is going to do absolutely nothing to change the public perception. But for those of us who are affected or physically compromised in some way, I would urge you to give people the benefit of the doubt because you know what it's like. Enough said. I'm going to step down from my figurative soapbox now. Be safe, everyone, and again, thank you all. Your support and your friendship is very appreciated.